But for anyone tuning in, welcome back to our show, Attack of the Savage Nerds. This show used to be on a paywall or behind a paywall on Patreon. It's now public. Just like the show me and Ruben are doing, Culture Attack. We are still We're still going to put out this show. It is now to the public. So I guess this is the. I guess you can call it the season premiere of Attack of the Savage Nerds. I am Drew, and he is
RJ, the Brooklyn Savage.
Yes, sir. And on this show, we basically discuss nerd topics like comic books, comic book movies, what have you, TV shows, and if there's time, maybe a little wrestling every now and then. But today is going to be very nerd heavy, not wrestling, because we have a lot of news to talk about. And I have some topics on hand. And we're just going to get the ball rolling. Are you ready, RJ?
I am ready, sir.
All right. X-Men 97.
Yes.
Which is the continuation of the X-Men the animated series show from the 90s, hence the 97. It started back in March, I believe. It's still ongoing, and the season finale will be tomorrow.
Yes.
It'll be at 2 in the morning Central Time, 3 in the morning Eastern. And again, just echoing everyone's statements, this is awesome. Like, this is an awesome show. Like, this is probably the best thing that Marvel has put out in a while, since probably like Endgame, where it just seems like across the board everyone's enjoying it. Like, you look on Rotten Tomatoes doesn't really matter, but it's just like Rotten Tomatoes, like audience score and critic score is like damn near perfect. They got fresh tomatoes. Everyone and their mom, like friends of ours, even people we don't know, are like, X-Men 97's awesome. Like, each episode like gets better, especially after episode 5. That's where the ball really started rolling. But I want to hear your thoughts, because you and me haven't really talked about the show lately. But what are your thoughts on X-Men 97?
You know what? Honestly, going into it, I thought that was, I thought it was going to be nothing more but a nostalgia grab, just the extra chance just to milk us old, well, not old, but us youngins from back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I thought this was just a quick cash grab, if you will, but no, not at all. They have really, really taken the ball with this, and they touchdowned it, they fucking double dunked it, they shot it, like, it's fantastic, man. Like, all the stories that they've told, really good stories. It doesn't feel like it's all about one particular character, which was one of my problems with the live action movies. It felt like it was just Logan and crew.
Right.
But this has been about some of everybody. Got centric stories with Magneto and Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Jean Grey with the Madeline Pryor stuff. We got Cyclops. So everybody gets, even the stuff with Sunspot. Everybody gets their turn to be seen and heard and to be understood, and I like that more than anything else. And just how true to the comic it is too.
Right.
Even down to what happened last week, which was shot from shot. The closing shot from last week was shot from the comic book, and it was like, fucking hell. So, X-Men 97 superseded my expectations. The expectations that I had, because, like I said, I thought it was just going to be a nice little taste of nostalgia, and that was it. But boy, they was like, RJ, you got no idea, buddy. You got no idea. And they've really showed out. And this has been really good stuff. And I'll tell you what, I think this is the best Marvel-related project that they've done on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah,
I honestly believe that. the Marvel shows, the other ones have been rushed. Not to develop characters and storylines. We talked about that in the past.
Yeah.
So they've taken their time here. A whole blown team is behind this, and they've really made, like I said earlier, made every character have some sort of stake in the fight. We get a chance to grow with them a little bit, see what it's like in their eyes and in their shoes. So I like that a whole lot too, and that's important. You can't have a good story without good characters. If you have bland characters and a damn good story, it's all right, but you feel no connection to the characters that you're watching.
Right.
It's all about the journey, especially with these particular characters. So I feel like they've done a great job. I cannot praise them much more than that. And I'll tell you what, a little violent too, compared to the show from back in the day. I mean, my God.
Very.
How much blood and stabbings have we seen with some blood dripping? I'm like, whoa, okay.
This is why streaming works. Sorry to mean to cut you off, but like this is where streaming definitely comes in, because like, you know, the show in the 90s was like it was a little tame. And we got it because it was Fox Kids, so they couldn't be they couldn't go that extra mile they wanted to. Now that it's on streaming, they could be a little bit more edgier, and like by edgy, like we're not looking at it to be like the Punisher or anything like that, but like when you look at X-Men comics, like those are pretty like mature, like they're very brutal. Yeah. Like Wolverine's a very brutal character. They're also dealing with like, you know, classism, racism in a way, because like X-Men, as we all know, it was created during the Civil Rights era, and you know, Stan Lee very famously says like, I wasn't looking to make this a story about classism or racism or anything like that, but it just happened.
And it happened to fold that way, and it works. It works.
Right, and you know, the X-Men represent the minorities, and like everyone fears them and hates them. Even when somebody tries to come in and say, "Hey, let's work together," there's always going to be that small percentage of people. It's like, "No, fuck them," you know, as we saw in the Genosha episode, which was just like when the show began, I enjoyed it, even though I had some problems with like dialogue, and you know, I thought it was a little too soap opera-y with some of the dialogue, where like, you know, Storm was like, you know, I am the goddess of blah, blah, like down the town. Like there was like thing in the beginning of the episode or of the show where like she gives her like monologue, and who is it? Bishop was like, oh, I guess they didn't have enough time for your monologue, huh? And they kind of poke fun at it, and Cyclops was a little over the top, but I was still enjoying it. I didn't really care for the Mojo episode. I was like, this is filler. This doesn't really feel needed, and just feels very out of place. And then that's like a one-parter, and then like the second part of the episode was the episode with Storm and what's that dude's name? Forge. Forge. Yeah, there Forge. You go. Where I'm like, that probably could have used its own episode. Like that needed its own episode. And then episode 5 is where it really kicks off. Like, it starts off very happy-go-lucky. It's like, oh, they're on an island of mutants, and everyone's happy, and everyone's dancing, and everyone's having fun, and all of a sudden the mood just slowly changes, where, like, Gambit wants to be with Rogue, but Rogue knows she can never be with Gambit because, you know, Rogue, her powers is that she sucks the life and, you know, the powers out of anyone she's with, and Magneto, you know, because of his magnetism, is the only one that can handle her powers. And, you know, poor Gambit, you know, just, you know, wears his nicest suit, but it's like, you know, it was okay, Cher, you know, maybe it's for the best. And then everything that happened. You know, Rogue tells Magneto pretty much like, you know, Gambit was right. You know, he's the only one for me. And then all that shit happens. Just those giant fucking sentinels just destroy everything, and like, again, a very violent way. Like, it's not just like, you know, you just see a shot of him shooting at someone and then they just pan out and just show him shooting him. It's like you're just supposed to assume they're dead. It's like, no, you see people actually getting vaporized and like dying in front of you and bleeding, and Magneto has flashbacks to being in Auschwitz. It's just like, Jesus Christ. And then fucking and then Gambit gets impaled, like actually impaled. Like, you actually see the thing go in his fucking abdomen. And he goes out like a G. You know, like he he shows his powers. Like he shows that he's more than just a guy in a trench coat and with a stick. Like he is an Omega level mutant, and he actually shows his powers. And he says, "The name's Gambit. Remember it." And just that last shot of Rogue holding his dead body, saying, "I can't feel you." I'm like, oh fuck this! Like what the fuck?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
My boy Remy.
I said, damn. I said, Gambit always just this damn close, bro.
Shit, Gambit died, thinking that he couldn't have Rogue, and I'm like, god damn, man, now this series is gonna be like this, like fuck. And just lately, now with the last 3 episodes being like 3 different parts, like you're having this mutant war with Magneto just saying, fuck it, I'm done helping humans, I'm done, I'm gonna do things my way, whether you like it or not. And I like how, like you said, like each character is relatable and it isn't just about Wolverine. Like, because, well, that's the only thing that was kind of worrying me for a little bit. I'm like, okay, I get it, it's X-Men, but like Wolverine hasn't really done anything lately. Like he's just been
good. He shouldn't.
Well, no. Like, hear me out. Like, this should be about the X-Men, but there was a point where I'm like, is Wolverine going to do something? Because it just seems like he's just there. But then
he's gonna get his piece. Yeah.
Like the last episode, he did kind of get his piece. Like or even the episode before that, where like the X-Mansion was being attacked by the human Sentinels, and there was that fucking amazing shot where like he sees from his point of view of what it looks like to be in Nightcrawler's transportation thing, which I thought was dope. I thought that was awesome. Nightcrawler's awesome. And then the last episode where like you finally see him like stab fucking Magneto, and you see blood coming from his claws, and it's like, it's always the brave that dies last, bub. And it's just like, oh no, I know exactly what's gonna happen here. And then spoilers, Magneto, like in the comics, takes out his adamantium, and it's just like, wow, like the people who wrote this show actually read X-Men comics, and they actually know the characters. Like they didn't just go, I watched Logan, or no, you actually read X-Men comics, and like shot for shot, a lot of this shit looks like it's coming out of the comic books, and
especially
like,
that scene in particular.
Oh yeah, like, and again, I've never been a purist, so to speak. Like to me, it's just like make the shit look like it's from the comic book. But lately, like you mentioned, a lot of the Disney Plus series, even some of the movies, I'm just watching and I'm like, have these people actually read a comic book before? Because the dialogue in this is bad. Especially, again, I didn't hate it as much as most people, but the Marvels, the dialogue was not good. It felt like it was an AI movie. It felt like it was a movie made by AI. Like, that's what it felt like to me.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but this show is just like, this is what good Marvel is. Like, this is what it should be. Like, bring in people that actually read the material. Like, and then we're going to get into the Marvel, we're going to get to more Marvel stuff later, but like, just bring in people that actually read the material and didn't just watch Wolverine. Because a lot of those X-Men movies from the 2000s, they were good mutant movies, but they weren't good X-Men movies because they were very much Wolverine and the X-Men. And it's like, that's not the X-Men.
Right.
So,
they had a show back in the day called Wolverine and the X-Men. Like,
which is just like, come on. But, and again, I love Hugh Jackman. We're going to talk about Hugh Jackman in a bit. But it's just like, this is the X-Men. This is not Wolverine and the X-Men. And I can't say enough good things about X-Men 97. It's amazing. I love it. I generally don't look forward to a lot of things, but each week I always look forward to Wednesday at 2 a.m. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
It's time.
It's that time, motherfucker. But it's that time, motherfucker. But what are your predictions? It's weird to say predictions, but like, what are your predictions for the last episode?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Sinister's definitely going to stab Bastion in the back. Like I think all of us can see that one coming. I don't know if they're going to tap into Wolverine's Berserker mode. I think clearly that's, well, not clearly, but I think that's the direction that I feel like they're going into is, Wolverine Berserker mode without the claws for a while. I think Apocalypse might make some type of appearance.
Right.
Maybe to kind of tease, maybe giving Wolverine his adamantium back, just maybe. But I think for sure Wolverine's probably gonna be in a coma, but they're gonna tease some berserker stuff for the next season. As far as anything else, I got a weird feeling either Professor Xavier or fucking Magneto, one of them was gonna die. For real this time. Which one? I have no idea, but I got this feeling that one of them's gonna kick the bucket for real this time. So,
right.
I think that's some of the stuff I'm leaning towards. But anything else besides that, like off the top of my dome, I can't really think.
Right.
Can't really think of anything off the top of my dome right now. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to it, man. I'm sitting down like a fucking child again, and I'm just enjoying it all because this has been really, really fun to watch, and I'm just here for a ride, man. You know, sometimes it's just best to just shut up and just watch.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's exactly what this show is making me do, and I'm happy for a change because, like you say all the time, I don't want to know what's gonna happen most of the time. Like I just want to be surprised. I just want to be surprised when it does happen. It's gonna be like a holy shit moment. I can guarantee you, nobody called Gambit dying. Nobody called Wolverine getting his fucking adamantium ripped out of his body. Nobody called any of that shit. You know,
or that Spider-Man, or that Spider-Man cameo,
or the Spider-Man cameo. Oh. So,
did you pop? How hard did you pop for that?
Man, I tell you what, my smile was so wide, I thought I had to have it surgically removed. I'm
so glad I stayed up until 2 a.m. to see that and didn't like wake up in the morning to see the next thing. I stayed up until 2. When I saw that, I wasn't expecting it. I'm glad. As soon as I saw that, and it's like the motherfucker came out for like 5 seconds, didn't speak. As soon as I saw that, I went, I was on my bed and I immediately like stood the fuck up, like, oh shit. And in that same episode, you had Dr. Doom come out for like a few seconds, and like he was like telling Bastion pretty much like, I'm Dr. Doom, but you're a crazy motherfucker. I'm not fucking with you. It's like I'm going back to Latveria where this shit makes sense. Yeah, so
I got my own way of doing evil. You a little too cuckoo for me, son.
You know, Captain America, same thing, where he came out and it's just like, you know, he's trying to like talk to Jean, pretty much, like, not Jean, Rogue, where he's pretty much Captain America. It's like we got to do this by the book, and Rogue pretty much on a revenge tour, you know, unlike Liv Morgan, and she's like, I'm doing things my way, and since your hands are tied, you're not gonna be needing this shit. And she just chucks his fucking shield into the snowy mountain. And I'm like, I like how they handle the cameos in the show, where it's like, this is very much an X-Men show where they're in their universe, but we know this is in a larger universe, and we know they've interacted with Captain America and Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four in the past, but they're doing a nice job of saying like, yeah, we know those characters exist and they're gonna cross paths, but in a more realistic way, and not just like, you know, hey, I wonder what Spider-Man's doing. You know, I wonder what, you know, Iron Man's doing. It's like, nah, when we run into him, we're going to run into him. But we're going to worry about doing X-Men shit from now on. And we know damn well that if you try to fit in the Avengers into an X-Men problem, it's not going to make sense. Like, it needs to do it in a way that makes sense. And I'm liking the idea of them possibly maybe doing like a animated Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know, with starting with the X-Men and then Spider-Man and then the Avengers and then Fantastic Four. Like, you know, you have the live action MCU and now you have the animated MCU. Like, I'm liking the idea of that. I don't know, maybe I'm being too complex, but I don't know, just it's one of those things I kind of want to happen. But yeah, I'm like with you, you know, before we get to the next topic, like with X-Men 97, I like the fact that I just want to just sit back and enjoy it and not theorize too much.
Right.
Like with our next topic, Deadpool-Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've watched that new trailer with where they finally show Hugh, back as Wolverine and in the suit and, dropping plenty of F-bombs, pretty much confirming that this is a hard R Disney Marvel movie. Marvel going into a different direction, which is good because I've been saying this for years, like Marvel needs to kind of grow up a little bit. As much as we like the movies, like lately, ever since Endgame, a lot of these movies, they've been, it looks like they're trying to cater to a younger audience instead of, movies like with Civil War, with like Civil War, yeah, it was PG-13, but it was kind of crossing that line of being a hard PG-13, where you see Bucky, killing Tony Stark's parents and choking his mom and punching his dad right in the face. I'm like, are we sure this is a PG-13 Disney movie? But, lately with movies like Thor, Love and Thunder and the Marvels and other shit like that, it's just like, it kind of seems like you're going back to that 90s superhero movie formula of like, we're going to cater to the kiddos because kiddos are innocent and don't watch UFC and don't watch porn on their smartphones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but were you going to say something?
It's because I was going to say that's because the Russo brothers know how to fucking direct.
Yeah, they do.
They know how to fucking direct, and Taki Wada, whatever the fuck his name is, he's a goofball director, and some of these other people that they're getting to direct are not great directors.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate with Taika because I think Thor: Love and Thunder was a studio movie and not a Taika movie because Taika, when he directs other things, like he's actually a very good director and he knows how to balance comedy and drama well. Where, with Thor Love and Thunder, he balanced, not Love and Thunder, Ragnarok, he did a good job at balancing the comedy and the drama. Whereas
Ragnarok was the best one out of all the Thor movies, I thought.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion.
Love and Thunder, I think that was a studio thing of like, well, they liked it because it was a comedy, so make it more funny. And I have a Chris Hemsworth article that we'll talk about in a little bit, but like, but yeah,
if
like,
you want to get into it now, we can get into it now. I mean, because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure. Let me pull it up real quick. Well, like, let's finish up Deadpool Wolverine real quick, and then we'll get to it. So, right. Yeah, Deadpool Wolverine coming out July 26th. 26th. There we go. So in 2 months, can't come soon enough. I like the idea of, well, first of all, I like the trailers because they give you enough without giving you everything else. Because right. With every trailer, they have to give you everything because they want to sell tickets. Whereas in this movie, like, the selling factor is Deadpool, obviously, and then Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, so that's going to sell tickets. Like, this movie, I guarantee, is going to hit $1 billion. Like, if it doesn't hit $1 billion, it's going to hit at least maybe 700, 800, 900 million, but I can guarantee you it's going to hit $1 billion. And this is the only movie Marvel needs for this year, because this is the only MCU movie. We're not talking about Sony movies. Like, forget those. We're not talking about those. But, like, this is the only MCU Disney movie that is being released this year. And good, this is all you need. And that last trailer, like, they gave you Wolverine as Deadpool. Oh, not Wolverine as Deadpool, Jesus Christ. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds, of course. And they all but confirmed, which we've already known for a while, that this is going to be hard R. Like you heard F-bombs, you saw violence, you see fucking Wolverine like stabbing Deadpool in the dick and balls. And it's just like, this is awesome. And then you have an established director in Sean Levy, who, like, I'm pretty sure they were just like, hey, make the movie you want. And lately there's been a lot of like things with directors in Marvel where it's just like, we had to make the movie the studio wanted. And granted, those were a lot of like not as established directors, where like a guy like Sean Levy, who has a pretty big rap sheet with, movies that were successful in theaters, like, I'm pretty sure Marvel was like, hey, make your movie. And Ryan Reynolds, I'm pretty sure, moved heaven and earth to make sure we're not fucking this up. Because I know
he knows.
Oh yeah, he's passionate about this character. He's been passionate about this character since fucking Blade Trinity, where like he played that character Hannibal King, and like the director was like, "You're acting too much like Deadpool," and Ryan Reynolds was like, "Who's Deadpool?" And then he gave him a Deadpool comic, and ever since 2004, Ryan Reynolds has been pushing to do this Deadpool movie, and he finally got off the ground in 2016. So like, yeah, because originally they brought in writers from like Bob's Burgers for the third movie. I'm like, what? And they're like, no, we got to bring back the original writers. And they brought back the original writers from the first two movies and Ryan Reynolds. And Ryan Reynolds is also going to be a co-producer and also star in the film. So it's just like he's very passionate about this film, as he should be. So I'm looking forward to this film because it, again, first R-rated Disney Marvel movie. And, you know, from the way it looks, we're getting more mature shit. I mean, we're getting Daredevil Born Again. We're getting the Punisher back. We're getting Blade. Blade's going to be rated R, as it should be. It's apparently going to have a very low budget for an MCU movie. It's going to have a budget for like $80 million. That's really all you need for a Blade movie. You don't need a Blade movie with like crazy CGI. You just need a Blade movie with just Mahershala Ali just slicing up motherfuckers. That's literally all you need.
That's all you need. You don't need nothing too crazy.
Midnight Suns. We're probably getting a Midnight Suns movie that's going to be rated R. Moon Knight is coming back. That needs. I don't know if that should be rated R, but it should be rated R enough to where it's just like, because Moon Knight's kind of a violent character.
Yeah, likes beating the fuck out of people. So, I mean, look, hey, whatever works. Whatever works. As long as you know which heroes you can do the rated R shit with, because not everything needs to be rated R either at the same time.
Right.
So, like, as long as you know what needs to be rated R, and you move and you direct it and you make the movie or make the show accordingly. And that's it.
Right. Like, not everything needs to be rated R, but, like, for certain characters, like, you need kind of that edginess to them. Like Daredevil, Punisher, the Ghost Riders, Moon Knights, Blade, all those characters need that. Well, I was gonna say, like, for like, if you want to kind of go a little over the edge a little bit, do that. Like, don't stay in that safe zone of like, we're PG-13 Marvel. It's like, yeah, granted, not everything needs to be violent, but like for Captain America, for example, like, you can go that extra mile of like, we can be a little gritty here because it's Captain America. It's a political story or whatever.
Espionage.
There you go. Like, it's a spy movie, so you can maybe cross the threshold of like, can we be a little hard PG-13 here? Yeah, definitely do that. And then other characters like the X-Men. Like, when you bring in the X-Men can definitely be hard PG-13 because, again, you're dealing with racism, you're dealing with classism, there's undertones of like, whenever mutant kids come out to their parents, like, there's that. Mm-hmm. It feels like, kids coming out to their parents like, hey, I'm this and that. So definitely don't be afraid to go overboard because, kids nowadays, like, not even just kids, like, you're losing your audience to The Boys and Invincible, which are very, very hard shows. And Marvel, again, Marvel's smart, and they're looking at that, they're going, okay, we need to try and copy that formula. And it kind of looks like they are with a lot of, recent news coming out with a lot of their, with a lot of their projects coming out. But yeah, Deadpool Wolverine, again, I know next month we're supposed to get a final trailer, which is going to be the trailer saying, hey, tickets are out now. Again, keep that shit vague. If you want to bring out like ancillary characters, like, I know in the first trailer they put out Torch from X2, and the most recent trailer you can kind of see Lady Deathstrike and Toad and Azazel, like little characters like that weren't that important. I'm like, okay, fine, but like, don't give me like, hey, here's Ben Affleck as Daredevil. Hey, here's Jennifer Garner as Elektra. Hey, here's this other big character. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to be surprised. Like, I'll theorize, but like, I don't want to know too much. You know what I mean? Like, in the last trailer,
just fucking Human Torch.
Yeah, like, that's gonna be funny as shit when you see Chris Evans show up and you see Michael B. Jordan show up, it's like, hey, Killmonger, who's Killmonger? Flamon. Or, hey, Cap, who's Cap? Flamon. And they just fly away. And, like, they showed all they needed to show with, like, the giant Ant-Man head showing up. And it's actually like they had that little clip come out where Deadpool goes, oh, so Paul Rudd did age.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, that's cool. I don't want to see anything else. Like, don't show me anything else. I don't want to see anything else. Like that was cool enough. But I think I've said too much. But like, what were your overall thoughts on the most recent Deadpool trailer? Like, theories? Any? Like, what do you think about it?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good trailer. I thought, like you said, they showed us what we need. What the hell? They showed us what we needed to know, and that was pretty much it, man. They, like you said, some characters were, kind of just shown out of the blue, which is cool. That sends, that lets everybody know that, we're about to see some surprises or some characters that maybe we haven't seen in a long time, and no, it gives you something to look forward to in this movie, but also, they look like they're just having fun, just seeing Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Even they had some somewhat good chemistry in that X-Men Origins Wolverine movie. So to see them back on screen together again, getting a chance to do it, with no restrictions this time around, that's really, really good. But I'm really excited about it. I really like the trailers. Like I said, really like what they've shown us so far. I don't need to see any more. I'm like you. Don't show me any more than I really need to see heading into this movie. I have an idea due to, obviously, we live on the internet, but don't spoil it for me at the same time either. So I like that they're keeping certain things underneath wraps, and they're showing us what we really need to see, the beats that we really need to see, which is obviously Wolverine and Deadpool teaming up to try to restore some order if they can.
Right. Like, I like the idea of just Deadpool Wolverine coming in to kind of cleanse the Marvel universe and just kind of like, restart it, I guess. Because, like, from what I heard, there's going to be 2 post-credit scenes, and they're supposed to, like, really change the MCU, which I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. All I know is with that week, when the week of that movie comes out, I'm going dark on social media. Like, I'm staying off of TikTok, especially TikTok, because TikTok is horrible. Because they will just literally post a video and just put a caption of, like, spoilers, this happens. I'm like, damn it. Like, I don't want to see that. And, like, there have been times where, like, I'll see a spoiler, and if I just see a second of it, I'll go, no. I'll just, like, flick all the way up. And I'm just like, let me get that memory out of my head. So, like, just no spoilers like you, obviously. I don't want to see any spoilers. I don't even want to hear theories or, like, ironic, spoilers or whatever. I want to go into this movie dark. Kind of did with No Way Home. Like, I figured that the other 2 Spider-Man were going to be in the movie, but again, I didn't want it to be spoiled. I wanted to enjoy the moment. And I did. I enjoyed the moment. Like, it was probably the loudest theater I've ever been in, because they were reacting for everything. And, when fucking Andrew, as soon as you saw Andrew turn his head, you're like, that's not Tom. Like, that's not Tom. He's too tall to be Tom. And then, he takes out the mask and it's Andrew Garfield. And then the other portal opens. I'm like, if that's fucking Toby, I'm going to lose it. And then Toby just walks into the frame. You're like, Toby! So that's how I want to enjoy this movie, of, like, when I see someone that I haven't seen in a while, like, I don't know, fill in the blank. Like, I'm going to be happy, because I'm like, oh, these characters are in a movie, and cool. But anyways, I guess we can kind of jump into the Chris Hemsworth thing. So, where is it? I have 2 articles right here. So Chris Hemsworth did an interview with, who was it with? I think it was like the Hollywood Reporter or something. Basically, the Times, I'm sorry. So he's, Chris Hemsworth has been the Marvel cheerleader as of late, which good. promoting his new Mad Max movie, which I want to see. It looks awesome. And he talked about how directors, criticize, MCU movies and superhero movies. And, he says it kind of lets him down a little bit because he just, talked about look to directors like Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino. And he admits it kind of, bummed him out a little bit. He's like, well, I guess they don't think I'm a good enough actor because I'm in an MCU movie. But he had talked about how MCU movies continue to draw so many people to their theaters, should prove that there is little merit in the complaint. He said, it felt harsh and it bothers me, especially from my heroes. It was an eye roll for me, people bashing the superhero space. Those guys had films that didn't work too. We all have. When they talked about what was wrong with superheroes, I thought, cool. Tell that to the billions who watch them. Were they all wrong? And then followed up by admitting that there have been significant changes in the landscape of cinemas in the last year, but not because of an influx of fantasy comic book movies. He said, and cinema going did not change because of superheroes, but because of smartphones and social media. Superhero films actually kept people in the cinemas during that transition, and now people are coming back. So they deserve a little bit more appreciation. And then goes on to talk about how he admitted that Thor Love and Thunder wasn't the best movie, where he said, I got caught up in the improv and the wackiness, and I became a parody of myself. I didn't stick the landing. Which he did talk about that before at another interview where he just said that he cringes watching Thor Love and Thunder, and even his kids are like, yeah, that was not that good, Dad. So which his daughter was actually in the movie. She played Christian Bale's daughter, who Thor, I guess, adopts at the end of the movie. But go ahead.
Huh?
No, I thought you were saying something.
No, I said, yeah, she played Love.
Yeah, Love, there you go. But yeah, Chris Hemsworth. There's also another quote where he talked about ex-MCU actors who do, participate in an MCU film or a superhero film and then went on to bash the genre. It's just like, okay, like you were in it. Like, what's your deal? But yeah, Chris Hemsworth pretty much doing the rah-rah speech for, MCU movies, which is good because he's Thor. He's, the last of the big Avengers, and clearly loves playing Thor. And we all love him playing Thor. And I was harsh on him for Thor Love and Thunder because I thought the writing for him was just like, yeah, this guy had a big turn. Yeah, he was too goofy because like in Infinity War and Endgame, like he probably had one of the better arcs because, in Endgame he, got fat, and I'm just like, at first it was like, this is funny, and it's just like, wait, this isn't funny. He has depression. He has depression and PTSD. And I know what that's like. A lot of people know what that's like. So the fact that they had a character who's a god go through this, it's like, wow, this is amazing. This was ballsy for them to do. And that was a Chris Hemsworth thing. Like, he wanted to be fat. They didn't want him to be fat. They just wanted to be a drunk. But he's like, no, I want Thor to be fat. Like, I want Thor to go through depression and overeat and just say, fuck it, I don't feel like dealing with anyone right now. And then the Avengers pull him back in. And then he has that, that great scene with his mom. And he's able to wield, Mjolnir again. And there's that one line where he goes, I'm worthy. Or I'm still worthy. Which I'm like, oh, that's deep. That cuts deep. So, and then just all that progression, and then Thor Love and Thunder, you just make him regress and make him an idiot again. And just like, why? So, again, I was never mad at Chris Hemsworth. I'm glad Chris Hemsworth is just like, yeah, that was stupid. Like, I fucked up. And, he's not ruling out being Thor again. And apparently we're getting another Thor movie. And it's going to go back to being a little bit more grounded and a little darker, which good, but just at the same time, don't make it dull like the other Thor movies before Ragnarok. But what are your thoughts on Hemsworth's comments?
My man, like you said, sticking up for the genre as he should. I mean, I never heard of Chris Hemsworth before Thor. I gotta be honest. I mean, granted, I don't watch a lot of movies and TV shows unless I'm into it, or if it's through word of mouth. So Thor, to me, put Chris Hemsworth on the map for me, for my attention span at least. So it's good that he's sticking up for the genre. But as far as him, I'm glad that he was able to kind of poo poo on a movie without getting poo poo face because it wasn't his best outing. I don't blame him for it. I'm pretty sure the directors and shit like that they had a hand in that, and I don't blame him personally for it. But I'm glad it's acknowledged that Thor: Love and Thunder was not that great.
Right.
I didn't have, besides him being goofy and Christian Bale's character not being too villainous. I didn't hate the movie that much. We talked about it, but I, Thor was very, very goofy though, to the point where it was really, really annoying. And I'm like, what are we doing here? What the fuck are we doing? Is it one of those cases where a certain director knows how to direct a certain character when it comes to the Avenger movies, and then when they do their own solo outing, they fucking don't hit the same?
Right.
You can probably point to that a little bit too. Maybe too many cooks are directing and shit like that, and can't get the true essence of the character down pat, so they can't replicate it from certain other good high spots that they had in other movies. I mean, you could point to that, but still, Thor was just too goofy. But I'm glad that he's not one of these whiny actors. Oh, how dare you try to tear me down and curse my work? Like
Right.
he took it on the chin like a champ and just said, "Hey, it wasn't what it needed to be. Next time, I'm pretty sure he'll make sure it's better next time." And Chris Hemsworth gets it. He gets it. He's a pro. He's a man's man, and
Right. Hmm?
yeah, need more people like him with some thick skin and can take accountability for fuck ups and things. And you could tell him that things went great. So
Right. I always find it in poor taste when actors bash genre films. Like, if it's directors, fine, whatever. Old man.
Wasn't it Frank? Didn't Frank Grillo come out and bash his time as Crossbones?
Not exactly. I think he just said, like, something along the lines of, like, I would have preferred more time or something like that. And then I think he said something like, my time as the character is maybe I kind of outgrown the character. But I don't think he said anything bad about Marvel. I just think he said, like, kind of what we've been saying with, like, Marvel needs to kind of, like, step up their game because they've been lacking a little bit. But not like fuck Marvel. Like, he's just like, Marvel needs to kind of go back to what they used to be. Yeah, when directors,
I thought he should have had more time as Crossbones. To be honest with you, I thought they wasted that character.
Agreed.
Especially him as the character. He looked like Crossbones. Like, he looked straight like Crossbones from the fucking comic books. It was like, whoa.
Oh,
yeah. They fucking wasted him, man.
Yeah, just like directors doing it is one thing because it's like, all right, whatever. But whenever it's actors, I find that in poor taste because it's just like, eventually you're probably gonna end up doing one of these films, and you might want to do one of these films if you want to, like, stay relevant and make money. If it's like,
I mean, everybody and their mom is doing a Marvel fucking part at this point. Oh, Giancarlo Esposito just said that he was in talks, or
no, he
already has a part in MCU. Like, come on, like,
yeah, like he's gonna be in one. He says it's not the role we think it is. So whatever that is, I'm not sure. But it's like,
so he's not playing Black Magneto.
Well, I thought it was going to be Xavier. Well, I think he'd be a great Xavier. Maybe he'll still be Xavier. I don't know. But it's just like, when actors do that, I'm like, really? Just say you're not a fan. Like, if I don't like something, even if I know it's not for me and I think it's not my cup of tea, I'm like, you know what? It's not for me. But whenever actors do the whole, I hate these movies and I wish people will stop watching them, and it's just like, really? Like, we're still doing that shit? Like, there's actors. Cause I know Zoe Saldana. She had said that she's been in rooms with elite directors and actors or whatever, and they still look down their nose at superhero films. And it's like, I still don't get that mindset, because it's just like the last 50 years, like, the most successful films have been comic book films. Like, there's even been films based off of comic books that we didn't even know were comic books.
Simply.
Like, right, like, there's been a lot. Like, what about movies based off of just books and novels? Where's the faux outrage for that?
And what was the they need to stop making movies off this. How dare you make a Junie B. Jones movie? How dare you? Like,
Right, it's just like,
I'm talking about face, son. Like, what? Like, stop it. Shut up. People are just stupid, goofy motherfuckers.
I'm always of the mind of like, if it bothers you, don't watch it.
Yeah, if you don't like something, don't watch it. If it bothers you that much, my mom always taught me, if something bothers you that bad, don't acknowledge it.
Right.
And she's right.
It's just like, I think the fucking 50 Shades of Grey movies were stupid, but they made money. But you know what I did? I didn't watch it.
I think I watched one, and that was it.
Like, I didn't like judge people for liking it. Like, I would maybe talk a little bit of shit. But I'm like, I wouldn't be like, you're dumb if you like this movie. I'm like, hey, if it's your thing, it's your thing. Like, Betty likes the Twilight movies, but I'm not gonna judge her for liking those movies. I'm gonna be like, hey, those are your movies. I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum for liking a thing that I don't like. Plain and simple. So
I'm not watching any of that shit.
So at the end of the day, just I don't know, just a lot of these like actors that are so up their own ass. It's just like, hey, you want to do your own thing, but just don't.
Yeah, Casey Affleck, shut up.
What did Casey Affleck do?
I don't know. I'm just calling out a random actor. He was on the top of my dome for whatever reason.
Casey Affleck.
Casey Affleck. Casey Affleck just frustrated for no reason.
I don't know why that was funny. Man. That should be the title for today's episode. Yeah, Casey Affleck.
Bitch.
You bitch. Casey Affleck.
You and your brother both have booty chins. Get out of here. How dare you talk shit about MCU like that?
Casey Affleck's like,
how dare you?
Wait, what the fuck did I do?
Casey Affleck, shit. Oh man,
man, that was funny.
Casey Affleck caught it straight for no reason.
Oh man, but moving on to other news. More casting news. The Fantastic Four, the MCU rendition.
Been busy the last couple of weeks.
Oh, it's getting pretty stacked. And I can understand why. The Fantastic Four MCU movie, which is going to come out next year, July 25th, I believe.
Yeah. Which I'm not gonna lie to you, Drew. Yes, a year and some change is enough time to make a good quality movie. Hopefully it's not a rush job, all right? That's the only thing I have. I have a little fear of a rush job. This movie needs to be perfect, in my opinion, because the last outing was not great, as we all know.
Last two outings.
Silver Surfer, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, it started out good. It didn't stick the landing.
Oh, no.
So I'll cut that one a little slack. To me, it wasn't terrible, but it just did not stick it the way it needed to be stuck. But that fan four-stick shit, oh my god, you could shove it up your own ass.
The less said about that movie, the better.
My god.
But Fantastic Four shooting will begin in July, this July. Pedro Pascal will start shooting his scenes at the end of July because he's shooting Last of Us Season 2.
Pedro, you better... Come on, man. You're almost 60 years old. Come on, man.
Well, he'll be 50 when the movie comes out, but like...
I know, just fucking...
Well, I mean, going with the casting. So Pedro Pascal, as we know, will be Reed Richards, which met with a lot of criticism. I was kind of on the fence of like, I love Pedro. I think he's great. My whole thing is I've seen his face too much. I've seen him in too many things. I've seen him take on too many iconic roles like The Mandalorian, Last of Us, and he's been great in both of them. And for all we know, he's going to make us eat our words next year.
I mean, he's a good actor. So I mean, I have no doubts. My thing is, okay, if we want the Fantastic Four to last in the MCU, why are we casting a 50-year-old man to play him? That's my part. Is that my issue is age.
Right.
He's almost 50 years old. How long is he going to be rich just for? We're gonna need him at least for a few movies, right? And if they're gonna do something with them and the Avengers, or them and X-Men, that's even more movies. So like, Reed Richards is an important character. It's not like he's playing a side guy character, you know. If he was a Silver Surfer, then I mean, fuck, we could throw our hands in the air. I mean, because that's the CGI. I mean, whatever. But he's Reed Richards. Like, he's 50 years old. Like, I don't know, man. That's my issue more than anything.
My thing is, it's not going to be like a Captain America or a more physical role where he has to like get in crazy shape and like do stunt work. Like, he, as far as like him being Reed, it'll be kind of similar to Iron Man, where all he has to do is act in front of a green screen. Like, that's really it for me. Like, I think he still does have to get in shape, but not like Chris Evans or like Hugh Jackman kind of shape. You know what I mean? But yeah, just he wasn't my first choice personally. But when he got cast, when he got cast, I'm like, really him? Like, to me, he's just like, and then no pun intended. I just don't want him to stretch himself out too thin, because he's already doing too many other roles. But like, again, by next year, maybe he's gonna make us eat our words. That's kind of the way I look at it.
The bags underneath his eyes, tell the story too. I mean,
and granted, with this Fantastic Four, we're not doing an origin story, which thank God we don't need to do any more origin stories. I guess
we're good on origin stories.
Which, I mean, for established characters, we don't need origin stories. But like characters that aren't that established. But like for the Fantastic Four, we know the story, and the story allegedly is that they're going to be an already established team, and they're going to be celebrities in their own universe, and it's not going to be an MCU universe. It's going to be another universe which is set in the 60s, quote unquote. And from the artwork, it's allegedly going to be like, I guess, like the Jetsons, somewhat. Where I'm
good with different twist and take on this. I'm cool with that.
I'm fine with it. Yeah,
as long as you stay committed to it, fully committed to it. If you're gonna do a Jetsons type thing, I better not see no fucking 2025 Camaro in the fucking movie. All right, you better not do that. So whoever the director is, he better stay committed to it.
Matt Shakman, he was the showrunner for WandaVision.
Matt Shakman, I'm on your ass. All right, pause. All right, because I need this movie to be great. Okay.
Oh yeah, both of us.
Yeah.
Sue Storm, she'll be played by Vanessa Kirby, who has been having a pretty good year as of late. She was in Hobbs and Shaw a while ago. She was in the Mission Impossible movies. She was just in The Crown for Netflix, and she was in Napoleon with Joaquin. Yeah, she looks like she can play the role, and her last name is Kirby, which is derivative of Jack Kirby. So I think she can pull it off. Again,
I got no problems with this casting at all. I think it's actually perfect. Because Sue's got a little spunky side, and Vanessa Kirby, she can play spunky. So like, I'm cool with that.
Yes,
I'm definitely cool with that.
Another casting that I love. Ebon Moss-Backrack will be playing Ben Grimm / The Thing.
He played Micro in The Punisher. That's the only thing I recognize him from.
Yes, he. What mostly people will recognize him from is The Bear, and he's great on that show. Like if you ever watch that show, he's basically Ben Grimm on that show.
Yeah, a couple of other people have told me that. I haven't seen that show. Sorry, people who might be new to these shows. I really don't watch a lot of television. Right. I don't watch a lot of television all like that. So, but yeah, I've heard about the Bear Show, and I heard from a couple of different people. If you think that, you don't even know anything about this guy and how he's going to play the Thing, watch the Bear, and you'll see his performance from there. And all they got to do is just let him rock and let him cook, and he should be fine. That's the overall consensus I'm getting from everybody. So, yeah. Yeah,
he's great. I love him. So when he got cast, I'm like, great casting.
Yeah. Who's kind of playing Johnny?
Johnny will be played by Joseph Quinn, who melted everyone's hearts in Stranger Things as Eddie Munson. I think this is great. I think he's a great actor. He brings a lot of that youthful energy as Johnny Storm. So him being Johnny Storm, I'm fine with. I think he's great.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts?
I haven't really seen him in anything either. Like those last two guys, yeah, I haven't really seen those guys in anything. So, well, aside for Ebon playing Micro and the Punisher, but other than that, I haven't really seen these fellas work like that. So, I'm walking into this role with both of these guys playing these roles, blindly, and hey, look, they might blow me away to the point where I'm like, all right, well, let me see more of their work. So that's a good thing too,
Right.
Certain actors, you see them have a great performance in a movie and something like that, and you're like, damn, I want to see more of what they can offer and what they can bring to the table. So,
right,
yeah,
his resume is kind of building up. He's going to be in A Quiet Place Day 1, which I want to see that because I like the Quiet Place movies, and he's going to be in Gladiator 2 alongside Pedro Pascal.
Oh my god,
he's got himself a nice little resume.
They're going to be seeing each other.
Oh yeah, get that chemistry going. More casting news. The role of Silver Surfer was cast, and it will be Julia Garner, who, if you have Netflix, she was on Ozark, a few other movies, but she'll be playing a version of Silver Surfer, not the Silver Surfer, but she'll be playing Shalia Ball, who in the comics is the wife of the NOIR and Rad. But which was obviously met with a lot of controversy, and we can kind of guess where that controversy is from. My Silver Surfer needs to have a dick.
And they exposed themselves for not really being comic book fans, because if you were a comic book fan, you would know there was a female Silver Surfer. So there's no MCU anything, because it's a character that's already in the comic books, you dumb fucks.
Exactly. Like
that is ridiculous. Like, I saw that, I'm like, well, evidently they're getting this. If all this is set in the '60s, right?
Yeah, in another universe, actually.
They're getting it all out of the way now, so that by the time, I guess, the Fantastic Four gets put in present time or whatever, present MCU timeline or whatever the fuck, we'll have our NOIR and Rad. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, people need to shut the fuck up, man. All that crying and whining.
Also,
like, oh my god.
The other thing I was going to point out was, yeah, like you just said, we're going to have our NOIR and Rad more than likely by the end of the movie, or maybe the next movie, because on that same day when the casting was announced, Lakeith Stanfield, known for Atlanta, a few other projects, great actor. He had commented on the post saying, "I thought I got the role," and then he immediately deleted his comment, which kind of, like, again, theories come in of like, okay, either Marvel or his PR team or both just said, "Hey, delete that shit because we have you in mind, but just not for this movie." So
you're playing the Silver Surfer. She's playing the Silver Surfer too, but different Silver Surfers. Maybe he might not be one of those smarter comic book fans to realize that there's two Silver Surfers, so to speak.
So
I mean, I can't really blame them, because everybody and their moms is having a hissy fit, not realizing that there's two different Silver Surfers in the comic book. More than that, right? There's more than two Silver Surfers in the comic book.
Like, it didn't bother me because, like, I'll be honest, I don't have an attachment to the character to really care about it that much.
It didn't bother me either, Drew. Like even if they wanted to call her Nora Rad, like a different twist and take, like the one Lawrence Fishburne. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie, was the stuff with the Silver Surfer with Lawrence Fishburne voicing it and shit like that. I thought he did a fine job in that role. I just thought that maybe we should have had a little bit more action pieces with him, but I liked the Silver Surfer part of that Fantastic Four 2 movie from back yesteryear or whatever. And I don't know if I wanted to see that version again so quickly. So to have a female Silver Surfer, I was okay with it, man. More than okay with it.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that post, I went, okay. And I looked at the wording. It said a version, not the. It said a version of Silver Surfer, and also this is another universe. This is another time. So by the end of the movie, we're more than likely going to get the Silver Surfer that we know. And again, I don't really, like I mentioned, I don't really have an attachment to the character. I always thought it was a cool character, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. And I just figured like, oh, people are going to have fun with this one. But yeah, just people be patient, please. We know, you know what we're going to get. More casting news with this thick cast of a movie.
Oh, it's getting really thick, all right.
Oh, yeah. Pause.
Holy moly.
It's getting thicker than Kelsey Monroe.
Oh, man.
Love that girl. Paul Walter Hauser has been cast. Paul Walter Hauser has a nice little resume. A pretty good character actor. Was in I, Tonya, Richard Jewell, Cruella, Defy Bloods. Just recently won an Emmy for Blackbird with your boy Pink Lips. You know what I'm talking about. And a wrestling fan too. Big wrestling fan.
Yeah, he made a cameo in Ring of Honor not too long ago.
Oh, there you go. He was also in Cobra Kai. He has been cast in an undisclosed role. There's been theories. Is he going to play Mole Man? Because he kind of looks like a mole man. Or maybe he'll be Herbie the Robot. Who knows? But
either one, I can see him play either or. To be honest with you,
but I'm fine with this.
I'm cool with that too.
And granted, I haven't seen all of his work, but he's a good actor from what I've seen, and he's a good character actor.
He could play Goofy. He could play Goofy too.
He can play Goofy. He can play drama. But I guess from the tone of this movie and like from what we read from Fantastic Four comics, I can see him playing Mole Man, or maybe he'll be Herbie the Robot. Who knows?
Yeah, like I said, either or I'm good with because I think he can do both roles justice. So.
Mm-hmm. Another big actor, which I don't think anyone saw coming, John Malkovich. Hasn't really been in a lot of comic book movies. Maverick, the only comic book movie he's been in was Jonah Hex, which I've never seen.
Oh my god, that movie was horrible. Oh my god.
I mean, I'll probably watch it just to see how bad it is. But and he was supposed to be Vulture in Spider-Man 4, but
he was supposed to fuck some shit up, man.
He would have been dope. But
oh my god, yeah.
He's been cast in Fantastic Four in an undisclosed role. There's kind of theories, but I think from the way it looks, he'll more than likely be Sue and Johnny's dad, which makes sense. I'm fine with. And it's John Malkovich, dude. He's just fucking great. He's kind of a weird guy. I heard he's really nice in person. He's actually a surprisingly big college basketball fan, which is weird to think about John Malkovich talking about college basketball. But John Malkovich in an MCU film, nuts.
That dude. Oh, do they want to waste him in a teen role though? Oh man, John Malkovich, you got that motherfucker who can fuck some shit. Oh man, I almost think he should be a villain, man, because we need that good villain. I think if obviously Galactus, and you're gonna get to that in a sec, but if they can give him a villain role, oh my lord, that. Alongside Mole Man and Galactus. Oof. Oh my. God damn. That's gonna be something. That's gonna be something, but I don't know, man. I you give him anything, he's gonna slam dunk it anyways. I mean, he's John fucking Malkovich, for God's sake, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like you said, give him any role, he'll crush it. Even if it's just a bit role, he's gonna crush it. 9 times out of 10 will probably be the best thing about the movie, or one of the better things of the movie.
Hey, what? In Red, he was one of my favorite parts in Red. This lady has been following us for 30 minutes. Can I kill her now? And he was right. He was right. That big lady was trying to kill him. Oh man, my ass. He's great. He's fucking fantastic, man. So yeah, whatever he's gonna do, he's gonna smash it. But goddamn, I think Fantastic to really make the splash this movie needs to make. I think they need a good villain that can be all up in the Fantastic Four's grill. You know what I'm saying?
And I know. I'll say for what I was going to say after the Galactus casting. So Galactus has been cast, as we all know. There were theories. Maybe it could be Antonio Banderas, or maybe it could be Javier Bardem. Neither. It was Ralph Ineson, who, again, good character actor. Been in a lot of things. If you watch Game of Thrones, you watch Harry Potter, you might remember him. He was also in The Witch and The Green Knight. I recently just saw him in another horror movie. It was The First Omen. And he's good. He's a good actor. He has a really good voice. Like, he has a very deep, very gruff, British voice. And I'm like, him as Galactus, oof, that could work.
He's got the face for it too. They don't need to fuck with his face at all. Just use his fucking face and put the fucking horn helmet on him, and you're good to go. They ain't got to do shit else with him.
Oh yeah, you're right. But yeah, this is an actor I wasn't thinking of, and I'm glad.
He's got the fucking face for it, Drew. He's got the face for it.
Oh yeah,
that fucking nose. Oh my god, yeah, nah. He's don't do nothing to him. Like, just let him cook. Let him roll. Let him roll. I'm excited. I'm not as familiar with his work as others, but somebody sent me a soundbite of him, just his voice acting. I'm like, all right, I can definitely see why they got him for the part. And he has that distinctive look facially, so it's gonna work because they're gonna need something signature with this Galactus character, especially to separate it from that bullshit we got in Rise of the Silver Surfer. So
you mean that
they're
cloud?
Gonna need. Oof. Oh my god. People, you saw the horns in the cloud. Nah, nigga, we ain't see shit, alright? We ain't see shit but a fucking cloud, alright? Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, alright?
No.
So, they needed somebody that can deliver something signature to this role, and they got that guy. Mr. Ralph, he's gonna kill it. From what I've seen, some of the clips and shit that I've seen, he's gonna do well. I would be surprised if he tanks in this role. I don't think he will, but I'd be surprised if he did.
They're really making sure this movie does not fail, and I'm glad.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad. Yes, I'm with you on that because it can't afford to.
Right.
How many times can you fumble Fantastic Four? How many times can you do that and get away with it?
It's such an easy concept when you look at it because, like, you look at Reed. Like, anytime they try to write for Reed, it's like, let's make him a dork. It's like, no, he's not a dork. Like Reed, his character is simple. He's the smartest guy in the room, and he knows it. And he's very hyper aggressive. He's very protective about his family, but he's also kind of a dick. Like, Reed is not somebody you want to have a drink with. Like, he's a fucking dick.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Dr. Doom. Like, Dr. Doom is the smartest guy in the room, and he's very hyper-aggressive, but what separates him from Reed is that he wants to rule with an iron fist. And as far as Doom goes, Doom apparently has been casted, but he more than likely will show up in, like, a post-credit scene, or he's probably going to be a character he's probably going to be an actor in the film that we don't suspect as Doom.
They just hide him in plain sight. Until
exactly
he fucking shows up and fucking has his Doom mask and a fucking crate or some shit. It's time for me to take over. Some bullshit like that, and he's off to the races. Or maybe they mention him in passing and shit like that. I don't know. I mean, they can do a lot of stuff. I'm just glad they're not starting off with Doom because I thought Julian McMahon did a good job. That other guy, I don't even know what the fuck his name was. I don't even remember. And I don't need to remember what the fuck his name was. He was terrible. Terrible! Oh my god.
Terrible.
Yeah, terrible. Like, he was, it's just boo-boo butter.
Basura.
Basura. Like, bum juice. Like, bad. Bum. Just get him up out of here. Like, no more, no mas. That guy shouldn't even be working at Hollywood no more, as far as I'm concerned.
Get him out of here! He'll never be in this business again.
What the fuck's this guy?
I just.
He doesn't deserve to work ever again in this town.
I just picture RJ. Get out of here, see? You'll never be in this town again, man.
Oh my god, he can never eat in this town ever again. He's a bum. What the fuck is the guy's name?
Toby Bell or Toby King or something like that. Toby something.
Toby Kebbell?
There you go.
You should never be allowed to work ever in Hollywood ever again, pal, okay?
Poor guy.
Yes. Jamie Bell right behind you, too. So
I don't know. Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan, like, at least had a career after this movie.
You sure about that? When was the last time you ever seen Miles Teller in something? I ain't seen his ass in anything in a long time.
He was in Top Gun Maverick.
I didn't see that movie.
I mean, it was like the highest grossing movie of that year. Yeah, like Miles Teller's had a career. Michael B. Jordan, was like, I'm gonna go to good Marvel and have a career. So, Kate Mara, I don't really see her in much of anything. But yeah, just Michael...
she looks like, oh my god, ooh. What kind of see why she don't have a career?
So,
Same Blake Nelson. That weird fuck. Oh my god, he is a weird fucking guy.
Hey, he's coming back. He's coming back as a leader, apparently. What? The leader in Captain America 4?
Well, finally, it took him like 20 years to pay off that fucking end credit scene in the Hulk. It took him long enough. My man was laying on that floor with his head bubbling for 20 years, and nobody did anything about it. Shit. So I'm glad he's getting his shine. I'm still nervous about the director, Mr. Julius Ona, whatever the fuck his name is. He is does not have a good track record, and he's Nigerian, so go figure.
But Fantastic Four, I'm looking forward to it for obvious reasons, and we're rooting for it. And yes, I'm curious in who they cast as Doom. That's kind of my thing. I'm like, again, I'm not a big.
Who'd you like to get the role?
It's got to be someone European because I know people are like, Doom needs to be Romanian. I'm like, maybe not Romanian, but just cast someone who's European because, again, love Julian McMahon. I thought he did his best, but it's just like we need someone more European and regal to kind of capture that snootiness and that hyper aggressive personality. Like me personally, I would cast Fassbender, but Fassbender has kind of stated like, what was that?
I'm right there with you, man.
Like he kind of said, like, yeah, I did the X-Men movies; they were fun, but I kind of want to just not do studio franchise movies anymore. Which I'm like, all right, I understand that. He just had that movie, the Hitman, come out last year, and apparently people liked it. I liked it. I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. It was a little too slow for me, but people loved it. I'm like, all right, whatever. It's your taste, not mine. I know people want Mads Mikkelsen as Doctor Doom, but the only thing is he was already an MCU villain.
Yeah, no, I'm not. He's got that slappable face, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't do it.
I don't know. It's probably gonna be someone that we're not thinking about.
A lot of people talk bringing up Cillian Murphy and John Hamm. I'm like, nah.
I think Cillian Murphy's a great actor. I think he's an amazing actor. I thought he was great in Oppenheimer. It was one of my favorite films last year. It's just again the height. Like Cillian Murphy's like 5'6",
very short, and he's not threatening either. He doesn't have a physical demanding presence like Doom should have.
Like he can definitely be intimidating, but it's just like again, Doom is more taller. We need somebody with the body. Like Henry Cavill has the look, but I don't think he has the acting chops to be Doom.
No, I don't buy him as a bad guy either. Really,
he's too likable to be Doom.
Not that long. I know he was a bad guy in the Mission Impossible movie with the mustache and shit, but he was a side man. I'm talking about like a leading man who has to, deliver the dialogue and shit like that. I don't buy him in that. What this guy Nikolai Coster-Waldau?
Oh, the dude from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, this guy. He looks
maybe
pretty big.
I mean, if you want to cast an American actor and do the whole, well, I was born in Latveria, but I went to school in America, like that would make sense if you can make it make sense. Like John Hamm,
yeah,
maybe, but he's also somebody that hasn't really been in a lot of big leading man roles since that TV show he did, Mad Men.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's got to be someone perfect.
He's got to be an older man at this point too, right? He's got to be in his 50s.
It's got to be someone that matches up with Pedro, because Pedro is a relatively tall guy, and he's also, again, a guy in his 50s. And if you're going to do an established Fantastic Four movie, it's like Doom is a looming presence, and it's got to be someone who's on par with Pedro, as far as like a tall guy and has that chemistry with Pedro, where they're essentially the same person, but they just have two different ideologies.
Would you try Billy Crudup?
Billy Crudup.
He was the one that did Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, him. No. I wouldn't, personally,
No. I mean, physically he matches up with Pedro, but I mean, he's not really known for being European, and physically, I mean, even though CGI muscle, I mean, physically looked the part for Dr. Manhattan. Granted, like I just said, CGI, but he's always had that weird presence to me.
I mean, another guy I would cast, and maybe this is kind of like too obvious, Homelander. Anthony Starr.
Yeah. Anthony Starr, yeah.
I think it's one of those like uninspired castings, because it's just like, well, he plays a really good bad guy as Homelander, so
yeah, he does. So you can only imagine what he would do as Doctor Doom.
Man, just
no. I mean, I definitely understand.
I
definitely understand.
Like, if I met that guy, I'd be afraid. I'm like, you're really good at playing an asshole. Like, you're just really intimidating.
He's got that face too, man. He's got that smackable face, man. he just does, man.
But you don't want to smack him.
No, of course not. You might not get your hand back.
Like, just him as Homelander. Like, anytime Homelander smiles or starts chuckling.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're in for some trouble. You're in for some trouble.
It's like, you want to watch your words around him. Even if he gets like, if he's like, "What'd you say?" No, Mr. Homelander, sir. I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. I'm agreeing with you. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. And it's one of those things I'm glad I don't know, because I want to be surprised when it happens, because I want to be like, oh, I wasn't even thinking about him. So,
people
but if it
really want Matthew McConaughey to play him?
No. I love Matthew McConaughey. In any other role, maybe as the MCU Norman Osborn, but not Doctor Doom. No,
I'll take that, because at least he can be silly. I know Matthew McConaughey likes to play a silly role sometimes. I can definitely can get behind that, but him as Doctor Doom, hell no.
No. And just imagine him with the slick back hair. Like, that'd be pretty dope. As him as Norman, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh. Come on, Peter.
They love you. They love you now, but eventually they're gonna turn on you. All right.
Throws the pumpkin bomb.
I gave you friendship, and you slapped and you spit right in my face. Out, am I?
So according to you, this Norman Osborn's gonna have a little bit of a southern accent.
Why the fuck not? Make him more menacing by just having that southern drawl of like, hey, he's pretty charming, but he's an asshole. No, I'm fucking around. But
Peter Parker, I have sweaty balls.
Yes, I do.
All right.
That's the thing I like about Peter Parker. All right, so let's move on to more news, more Marvel news, and then we'll do some DC news. Chris Pratt promoting his new Garfield movie, which still feels weird to say. I might watch it. I don't want this video to play. Okay, so Chris Pratt talked about possibly returning as Star-Lord. At the end of Guardians 3, they did put up a graphic saying the legendary Star-Lord will return. At the end of the movie, he goes back to Earth to see his grandfather, which I love. Guardians 3, I thought it was a great send-off. It was one of my favorite movies of the year. one of the better Marvel movies that have been made since Endgame. But in promoting Garfield, he was talking to comicbook.com, where he said, well, it probably would make more sense that I would be Star-Lord again. But anything is possible, and especially with James over at DC, maybe there's something that would be right over there. Maybe both. How about both? Let's do both. I think it's 100% both. So, and then asked about James Gunn. He said, if James thought I was right for any role in the DC universe, then you know what? I would consider it. So, Chris Pratt wanted to pull double duty, get 2 paychecks. Which, hey, can't front him for that. But yeah, Chris Pratt returning as Star-Lord, I'm fine with. Maybe do like a Disney Plus series and just do, Star-Lord having to readjust the time on Earth. He's more than likely going to come back for like Secret Wars. I can already picture that. But him in DC, like who do you picture him playing in DC, especially James Gunn's new DC?
Oh, you know what? Just see him playing the Lantern.
Like how?
If not how, then what's the other one? What's the other Lantern's name? I'm blanking on his name right now. I was just talking about this the other day. The other white guy that's a Lantern.
Kyle Garner?
Killing me. Yeah.
Well,
like I can see him playing one of the Lanterns.
He was already cast.
Oh yeah, who's playing him?
Nathan Fillion.
Okay.
He's going to be.
I can see him.
He's going to be in the Superman movie.
I can see him playing Hal Jordan then.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan or Booster Gold.
I was just going to say that. Booster Gold. Like, those would be perfect roles for him because he can bring that energy. He can balance, comedy and drama pretty well. Just, again,
just looking at a picture of Booster Gold. And sorry for cutting you off. Just looking at a picture of him, like Chris Pratt looks like he would do the job justice. 30 blonde hair flowing out of that. I mean, they can have him be comic book accurate. He's shown that he can get himself in great shape. It's not like his Star-Lord costume was very revealing, but he got himself in really damn good shape to play that role. And Jim wearing the goddamn costume, the Booster Gold costume and shit, like it would look great. So I can definitely see him doing that.
Yeah, like
either that or Hal Jordan.
Yeah, I think he'll be perfect for any role. I like Chris Pratt. I know Chris Pratt gets a lot of flack, and I can. It's weird how Chris Pratt gets a lot of hate because it's a mix of like he gets cast in too many things, and then there's the other shit with like his beliefs and thing going on with his ex-wife, which I'm just like,
look. I've always been a guy. I don't give a shit about what people believe in, this, that, and the other. That's fine. People have the right to feel however they want to feel. You might not agree with it, but let that shit die.
Right.
Let that shit die. Let that shit rock. As long as he's not murdering anybody, as long as he's not, running some type of genocidal club and hanging people and shit like that, I don't give a shit. What I give a shit about is him coming and delivering what he's got to do as far as these movies are concerned. If he's going to be making these movies good and this, that, and the other, that's fine. If he's not blowing ass and fucking up, like, that's the only stuff I'm really concerned about. I don't give a shit about his religious beliefs or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about none of that shit. As long as he's doing what he's supposed to be doing as far as the movies and shit like that is going. He's not hurting anybody. He's not physically hurting anybody.
Right.
I can give a damn what he's doing.
Yeah, it's just like
I'll be telling people that all the time. Oh, I don't like this person because he did this, that. Man, do you know the person? Did you see it? Did you see him physically smack somebody in the face? Like, come on, shut up. I can't stand when people do that.
Yeah, it's just like I don't pretend that stuff means anything to me the way it does to other people. It's like it's like people do the same thing with politics, where it's like, well, he's a Trump supporter, or he says bad things about Trump. It's like, and I don't care. Unless he's like you said, unless he's like running like a sex dungeon or he's abusing kids and like there's videos of him slapping puppies. I don't care. Like that doesn't none of that shit means anything to me. It's just like people. If you want to have your own beliefs, granted, I'm an atheist. If you want to be a Christian and talk about how you love God, more power to you. If that makes you happy, if it helps you be less of a shitty person, that's fine with me. Even if I don't believe in it, but I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I've always liked Chris Pratt. Granted, he gets cast in a lot of things maybe he shouldn't be cast in. Like because I liked Mario, but maybe he shouldn't have been Mario, and he's also playing Garfield, and I'm like, why is Chris Pratt playing Garfield? But whatever. But again, it's Chris Pratt. People hate him for really just trivial reasons that don't make any sense, and they just like to pretend to be mad at him because it's the cool thing to do. But yeah, Chris Pratt was a great Star-Lord, and I want to see more of him as Star-Lord. And if he wants to be in DC, I think he'll be great in anything DC related, whether it's Booster Gold or Hal Jordan. I'd rather see him as Booster Gold. Hal Jordan, I would rather have a different actor in mind, but I think Chris Pratt would be better as Booster Gold, in my opinion. I think that's the one role I think he'd be perfect for, because it's kind of like Star-Lord, or his version of Star-Lord, where it's a perfect balance of comedy and drama. Hal Jordan, I think, needs to be somebody who's more cynical rather than comical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you know who this actor is, Glenn Powell.
Yeah, one of Glenn Powell's, yeah.
Yeah, just he's someone I see. I'm like, that's a Hal Jordan. And the lanterns, I think it's either a series or a movie. It's going to have Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in it. And
Jon Stewart. Have they casted Jon Stewart yet?
No, for live action, no. My Jon Stewart is Sterling K. Brown.
Sterling K. Brown. That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, he'd be great. He's perfect.
You can't give every role to fucking Mashallah Ali.
No. But yeah, just whoever they cast, they're going to be great, because James Gunn's running it, and James Gunn knows who can pull off these characters, so I have faith in him. Mm-hmm. But that was old Chris Pratt. So let's move on to the next topic, since we're already on DC. Let's talk about since we're talking about Superman. So they showed the suit for the Superman movie that'll be coming out next July, coincidentally. The same month as Fantastic Four. It'll come out on July 11th, so it'll be 2 weeks before Fantastic Four.
A little bit of competition at the box office never hurt nobody.
Yes, sir. David Cornsweet will be playing Superman. He's a good actor. I've seen him in a few things. He hasn't been a lead yet, so this will be his first time being a lead.
Right. I like that Gunn's taking a chance on somebody that's more newer to the spotlight. So,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think with Superman, like characters like Superman, I think it's better to have somebody who's not that known, so that way you can get lost in the role. Because like, I think with every other Superman actor, it's always been somebody who's relatively unknown. Like Christopher Reeve is kind of like the pinnacle of Superman's. Like, it's like we want to capture that. Tom Welling, I think, was the better Clark Kent, because Smallville was basically about Clark. It wasn't really about Superman. Brandon Routh, everyone gives him flack. I thought he did a good job. I thought he did a good enough job as Superman. Just the movie just wasn't particularly good.
I thought what you call it was goofy as fuck in that movie. Baldy,
Kevin Spacey,
Lex Luthor, Kevin Spacey,
Kevin Spacey.
Tried to act too much like Gene Hackman, and it didn't work. Did not work.
Henry Cavill. I know people love Henry. I thought Henry did look like Superman, but we didn't see him enough as Clark. And
right, physically he fit the bill, but didn't really bring anything else to the table. But not his fault either. They've been jerking that man around for like 10 years.
Exactly.
You're Superman. You're not Superman. Oh, you're dead. Oh, your character's coming back to life. They've been jerking that man around for 10 years, man.
Yeah.
So I almost don't blame him for putting in a half-ass, piss-poor performance. I won't even blame that on him, but
Right.
Yeah, he just didn't. It just didn't work out for the dude like that. Shame, because he looked like Superman. Perfect,
Right.
picture perfect. I thought even better than Ralph as far as like the newer Superman that played Superman and like the 2000s up to present time. I thought he physically looked the best.
Right. It's kind of like Andrew Garfield with Spider-Man. It's like the movies weren't particularly good, but you can tell he really committed to the role. Like he actually cared about the role. He knew a lot about the lore of Spider-Man. And I mean, in my opinion, I thought he was the better Spider-Man. If we're talking about just Spider-Man alone, Toby was good. Toby was good Peter. Tom, I think, the best of both worlds. In my opinion, Henry kind of the same. Henry, was very committed to the role to the point where like he read Superman comics and like he would actually say, like there was like a thing I read where like they wanted to shave Henry's chest because they're like, oh, Superman doesn't have a hairy chest, and Henry was like, in this comic he has a hairy chest. So like he was very committed to the role. And I actually do feel bad for Henry that we never really got to see that really breakout role of Superman. And I think that's the one thing that makes Superman likable is that you like Clark. You want to like Clark because you love Superman because you love Clark. And the other guy on the show, the Superman and Lois, Tyler Hoechlin, I've seen a few clips. He's good, not great particularly, but I thought he was good. This new guy, David Cornsweet, I kind of get that vibe from him from stuff I've seen that he's done, in the past, where like he kind of has a little bit of Christopher Reeve in him, where he has that kind of awkward, vulnerability about him, where like Christopher Reeve would like be very polite, even though he's like this god-like character, like he would still be polite. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, let me move out of the way. Or that one scene, and I think it was in Superman 2, where like that pimp was like, say, Jim, that's a fly outfit, and Superman goes, excuse me, and then he just flies away. Like he just has that innocence about him. I think Cornsweet, I think he can pull that off. Because Henry, the one of many things that I thought was missing about his performance was that he didn't really have that awkwardness about him. He kind of had that, I don't want to say too cool for school vibe about him, but like it was more just like, that kind of broken man attitude, or like, I know I'm powerful, but I can't be too powerful. But that was what was missing about his performance. But I think David Cornsweet can pull it off. But like the suit, they pull out the suit, and of course it's been very divided because people. I think, in my opinion, I don't have a problem with the suit personally. I think the suit looks fine. My problem is the photo, because the photo is him just literally putting on his boots, and there's some shit going on outside, and he just has this look on his face like, God damn it, I just sat down. So, but I mean, for all we know, that's not even gonna be in the movie. That's just like a shot.
It was just them showing off.
Exactly.
Yeah, people were wanting it, crying. Saying, well, like, come on, shut up. They probably took it in the middle of fucking shooting and preparing for the fucking movie, man. People getting tight for no reason. Oh, see, his physique doesn't fill out the costume. Like, come on, shut up. Nah, me myself personally, I got no problems with it. I like the suit. I like the emblem. Very different from the rest that we've had in live action so far. I like it. And he looks like a younger. I don't know how old of a Superman he's supposed to be. Like, I don't know how long,
It's supposed to be like Superman year one, essentially, where
one.
like this is Superman who's kind of like not new, but maybe like a year or two in new.
And this is fine. This look right here is appropriate. If we're telling that story, and he's supposed to be year one into being Superman, this is fine. This costume right here, even if, let's just say, if this is actual shot in the movie, which I don't think it is, but let's just say if it is, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at him being smaller either. Like, this is fine because as he gets into the role and does more shit, maybe he can beef up and bulk up as his experience as Superman moves along as well. So he progresses with the character too. Got no problems with that. Like I'm not bitching about that whatsoever, man. And Lex Luthor, what the fuck? You a Brainiac? I don't know what the fuck y'all got going on in the background there. But one of you guys is trying to blow some shit up right over his shoulders. So
right, and yeah, again, like we mentioned, this isn't going to be an origin story. It's like we don't need any more origin stories about Superman. So
no, we don't. Oh my god, no, we don't.
I'm happy. I mean, I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but I want to see this. I want to see how this works because again, Superman is kind of an easy character to do. Like it's supposed to be more of a lighthearted character. And in recent years, it's like, let's make him darker. It's like, he doesn't need to be darker.
No, like he doesn't. He's a beacon of hope. Why would you make a beacon of hope dark? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Like, Batman's dark. Batman needs to be the dark.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You can get away with that. Martian Manhunter. You want to do him dark, you can do that. That's fine. Got no problems with that. But not every character like we said earlier, not every character needs to be dark and gritty. And if it calls for it, do it. Do what you have to do. If not, leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So, Steel is going to be in the last season of Superman and Lois.
Yeah, I think he already came out. I forget the actor who played him because I've seen the actor in things before. But yeah, he's not Shaq. Not the Shaq version.
Oh my god, that movie was terrible.
But this is a different, I guess, more serious take on Henry Irons as a Steel. So cool. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, definitely. Do you see him in any of Gunn's movies?
I mean, why not? I mean, Gunn has always been very good at taking very ancillary characters and making them interesting. I mean, he did.
Shaq play him, please.
No, Guardians, because Guardians was a very low-selling comic book. So when they announced they're doing a Guardians movie, it's like, really? That? Yeah. And then we saw the movie and we're like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, he got a gem. Like he does a good job at getting the most out of small characters. Nobody expected Guardians to blow up like that did. Like that did.
They made us. They gave a personality and made us care about a talking raccoon.
Yeah.
Fucking tree. Personally, to me, I think that's the best role that Bradley Cooper has ever done is playing Rocket.
Yeah, because I mean, Bradley Cooper.
He's a great.
I mean, I can't say that Cooper, because it felt like at first, early on in Bradley Cooper's early on in his popularity, it seemed like he was just the womanizer. That was his role.
Pretty boy.
He was the cool friend. He's the pretty boy. And then he did American Sniper, and he did a couple of other movies that actually showed that he's got chops. And then when he did Rocket, I'm like, all right, Cooper's showing that he's got a deep bag.
Right.
Like, don't typecast me.
And you can never tell it was Bradley Cooper, which was actually the point, because I remember reading something from James Gunn where the studio was like, he doesn't sound like Bradley Cooper at all, and he's like, yeah, that's the point. like he's getting lost in the character, and especially in part 3, that was very much a Rocket Raccoon story, and Bradley just fucking went into his bag, and such a great arc for that movie, and in a way they kind of pulled the wool over our eyes because that trilogy kind of became a slow origin story for Rocket, and just
true.
James Gunn with other roles like the Suicide Squad. He took a lot of ancillary characters. He took Peacemaker. He brought in John Cena, one of the biggest wrestlers of all time, and gave him this kind of C-level Captain America character, and then he ended up getting his own fucking series, and now he's about to get season 2. He brought in Idris Elba to play another small character that no one's ever heard of, and he made him badass. Good.
Yeah. No, Bloodsport. I was going off what you were saying. Bloodsport, damn good character.
Ratcatcher. He made a character that I was kind of like, I heard about once, and they just gave her the most emotional story arc. You know, he brings in fucking Sylvester Stallone to play King Shark and made that an interesting character. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Since we're on Peacemaker, former Marvel actor, another Marvel actor, Frank Grillo, joins the cast of Peacemaker season 2 as Rick Flag Sr. He will also be playing Rick Flag Sr. in the Creature Commandos animated series. So I think that's interesting. I think that's cool that James Gunn is incorporating more actors into other things, and not just like a, hey, you're going to appear in this, but we're going to have another actor player. Like, no, it's going to be a thing of like, if you appear in this, we're also going to want you to appear in this.
And not just own this. You're going to own this role essentially,
which is good.
Live action animation. So no, that's good. That's really good. I like that.
But yeah, he'll be in season 2 of Peacemaker, he'll be making his debut as Rick Flag Sr. in season 2 of Peacemaker. And if anyone didn't watch the Suicide Squad, spoilers, Peacemaker, John Cena, kills Joel Kinnaman's character, Rick Flag Jr. So season 2, Rick Flag Sr. will be out for revenge. And that's going to be really fucking interesting.
That means some people from Project Butterfly got to die, right?
Oh, yeah.
At least somebody's got to go.
Oh, yeah. I always like Frank Grillo. Like, Frank Grillo is a good actor, not just in Marvel. I've seen him in a few other things. I really loved Warrior.
Here's the thing, though. Here's one problem I have with that. Am I supposed to believe that Frank Grillo is old enough to be Joel Kinnaman's dad?
They'll find a way.
He's 58 years old, but I mean,
they'll old him up.
He's gonna be looking like a version of fucking He's gonna be looking like Slade Wilson around this motherfucker, or what? They're gonna dye his hair gray.
I mean, why not? I mean, hey, we were supposed to believe that Jeffrey Dean Morgan was Jensen Ackles' dad on Supernatural, and they're like 7 years apart. So
yeah, but a lot of people don't realize that Jensen Ackles is a whole lot older than what he really is. He really doesn't look that old for.
Right. Again, it's just it's not going to really be something that I'm going to think about. It's just going to be one of those things that are maybe chuckle. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're maybe like a few years older than each other. But
first that popped into my mind when I first found out that he got the role.
I'm fine with it. I got no issue.
No. Like, him as an actor is fucking fantastic. Like, I mean, we just put him over earlier as Crossbones, and him as Rick Flag, no limitations. He's gonna be fucking violent as shit. So, now I'm with it, man. I think that's really good, and that's gonna be very fucking interesting to see what kind of story they do there. But yeah, he's gotta fucking. I'm gonna be disappointed if he doesn't take any, like, at least take one of Peacemaker's friends. He's got to kill somebody.
Oh yeah. There's
somebody's gonna have to go.
Somebody's got to die.
Somebody's got to die.
I love Peacemaker. It was a show that, like, I didn't really have any thoughts or interest in, because I was like, I don't know. But then I watched the show and I was blown away. Like, it was a show that took time to get used to for me, because I'm like, okay, this is just John Cena having the vehicle to say fuck and make fart jokes and dick jokes, but then progressively it got better with each episode, because I'm like, wait, this is James Gunn, he's writing this. Okay, so it just, at the end of the show, I'm like, this is great. John Cena was born for this role, and we didn't even know about it. I mean, John Cena obviously didn't know about it, so
he's definitely, I can't see nobody playing that part. And Freddie Stroma did a really good job as Vigilante too, so I can't see anybody else playing that part either.
Everybody. Danielle Brooks, my girl, she was great on this show too.
And Robert Patrick did a damn good job of being a racist.
He is such a good dick.
He is such a, he even physically has a great dickhead. I mean, look at him.
Like, he And
look how pink his face is.
And he's like the nicest guy you ever meet. From like interviews I've seen and people I know that have actually met him, they're like, he's the nicest guy in the world, but he's so good at playing a dick.
Yeah, look at that.
And like, like someone had asked him, like, why are you so good at being a villain? He's like, I don't know, I just like playing a villain. So
I just want to be a dick.
You know, so yeah, Rick Flag, Peacemaker 2, I'm fine with this. This gets a thumbs up from me.
No issues with that whatsoever. None. Zero zilch.
I ain't
bitching about nothing.
Oh no. Other good DC casting news. The Penguin. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a Penguin series on Max about Colin Farrell's Penguin from The Batman.
Yeah, Rise to Power.
I was kind of conflicted on The Batman. There are things I did like about it, which I won't delve into too much. But I thought Colin Farrell was one of the better parts of the movie. And
oh my god, he's a guy. You talking about losing yourself in a role?
Oh yeah,
he lost himself totally in that role. Not just physically, but just the way he was acting was like Colin Farrell. Where? There
was a point where you forgot it was him. Like even Betty, when we went to go see the movie, she knew he was in it, but she leaned over to me and goes, "Is that Robert De Niro?" I go, "No, it's Colin Farrell."
Robert De Niro.
Like he was just that good. Like Colin Farrell is a guy that I'm glad to see his, like, I guess, comeback. Like he was a guy that he was the it guy for a while, and then he kind of fell into prominence because, he was, getting into trouble. He kind of had that Robert Downey Jr. road where, like, he got a lot of big roles and then he kept getting into trouble, and then, he says, when he had his son, that's when he changed, and he started taking on not so many big blockbuster movies, but he started doing movies he wanted to do, and that's what that's where his comeback started. And again, from what I heard, cool as fuck, nice guy, very polite, very respectful to everybody, and he took on this role. And like originally when he was cast as the Penguin, I remember thinking like, okay, they're gonna have a good looking Penguin, okay, cool. And then I see the trailer and I'm like, where was Colin Farrell? Wasn't he supposed to be the Penguin? And then somebody pointed out like, no, that's Colin Farrell. I'm like, that's Colin Farrell?
That's my same exact reaction too.
So
like, holy fuck!
Like he was just that good. But
yeah, no, he was.
But go ahead and talk. My mom's calling me. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, yeah. No, to me, in my opinion, him and Zoe Kravitz, I was impressed with them the most in the Batman. To be honest with you, I thought that Zoe Kravitz was cool, sexy, badass Catwoman, and I thought that Colin Farrell played a damn good Penguin. He had that physical presence, and then when he talked, he had that chilling voice that you're like, oh shit, I really do not want to fuck with this fucking guy. Then, now, or forever. Otherwise,
take it easy, sweetheart.
Craig T. Nelson is 80 years old. Holy.
Oh no, he was one of the better parts. Probably my favorite part of the Batman was just he was funny without trying to be funny, because he was just like he was like, you can tell Colin Farrell was having so much fun in the role. Like, when he's talking to Batman and Gordon, he's like, "What are you showing me here? Come on!" What is this, good cop and batshit cop? Am I the only one that knows the difference between La and Ra? Or L and La or whatever. Like, oh, that was great. He was great. And I'm looking forward to this series because, like, again, a Penguin show. I'm like, yeah, I love Colin Farrell, but I don't know how I feel about the show. And then I saw the trailer. I'm like, all right, I'm hooked. His rise to prominence, like you said, yeah.
They got something. I think they got something there.
Yeah. Casting news for the Penguin. Mark Strong has been cast for the show. They haven't said who, but again, another good actor. Has a pretty good track record.
Mark Strong, and I don't know if you agree with me about this, but Mark Strong's got the perfect face to be behind Mr. Freeze's fucking mask bowl that he wears on his head.
Agreed.
Mark Strong has that face, bro. He's got that Mr. Freeze face.
Oh yeah,
I can just picture him with the red goggles and shit, man. He's got the face, man.
He's great. He's great in anything. Again, if anyone doesn't know Mark Strong, he was in the Kingsman movies. He was in Kick-Ass. Been in a few other things, but he's a really good character actor. Like, he has that face and he has that voice where like you take him seriously in anything he does. He's always like someone who stands out the most in any of these movies. But he's been cast in the show. They haven't said as who. But again, he's going to be great because Mark Strong is great in everything he does. But yeah, that's as far as DC casting news. That's all I have. I have two more things, then we'll wrap it up. So Marvel casting news, because this just happened today, actually. There will be a Spider-Man Noir live-action series, which will be on MGM Plus. I don't even have MGM Plus, but it will be Spider-Man Noir and Nicolas Cage, who played the character in Into the Spider-Verse, will be reprising the role in live action. And if there's one thing we know about Nicolas Cage, whether you love him or hate him, he is always going to bring it 100%. He never phones it in, regardless of if it's wacky or not. He never phones anything in.
And that's the perfect character for him. So that's going to be good, actually. So yeah, no, I'm excited to see what comes of that, for real. Definitely can't wait to see what comes of that.
Me too. I really dug the character in Into the Spider-Verse, and casting Nicolas Cage it was perfect because you can tell he was just having fun and he wanted to bring his A game. On MGM Plus though, I don't know. That's going to be kind of weird because I don't have MGM Plus. Maybe I'll get MGM Plus when the series comes out. But yeah, this will be a good thing. This is good. So I'm all for it. This gets a thumbs up from me. And lastly, last bit of news. Bob Iger did an interview? I don't know who it's for, but talked about the new strategy for Marvel. Iger said this is part of let me go back a little bit. Disney CEO Bob Iger says the company is shrinking the MCU with a new mission to drop the number of Marvel TV series or 2 a year, and the film output to no more than 3 movies per year. Iger said this is part of Disney's overall strategy to reduce output and focus on quality and strategy, or a strategy that's particularly true with Marvel. He said we're slowly going to decrease volume and go to probably about two TV series a year instead of what had become 4, and reduce our film output from maybe 4 a year to 2 or a maximum of 3. The Disney CEO said during the company's quarterly earnings call Thursday, and we're working hard on what that path is. Which is good. I mean, that's been something I've been saying.
So essentially, we're going to be focusing on quality instead of quantity.
Exactly.
I am fine with that. Do what you got to do. Like, if it's not going to be good, if you're rushing to make it, don't make it at all. It's just as simple as that. I mean,
right? Just you and me talk about this ad nauseum. Me and Ruben talk about this ad nauseum. And me and Jeff talked about this a few times, where it's just like you don't need too many. You don't need this many films. You don't need this many series. Like if you want 2 series a year is fine. 2 to 3 movies a year is fine because go back to making them feel special. Go back to making them feel like special events because when they started doing the whole here's our slate for the MCU for the next few years and we're going to do this many movies and this many movies are going to come out this year, it's like this is too much. This is too fucking much. And just lately since Endgame, aside with a lot of good movies like No Way Home and Wakanda Forever and the Shang-Chi's and Guardians 3, it's just a lot of the movies just haven't been very good because again there's been too many of them. And granted, you can still stick to maybe 2 to 3 a year, but they need to be better written. That's the one thing. But Yeah, just too many movies. Scale back to 2 to 3 years. That's all you need. 2 TV shows is fine. And big event movies like The Avengers, just that's the only movie you need to put out that year. Like nothing else needs to come out that year, and make everything else feel special. But I'm fine with that. That's what we've been. That's what we've been wanting. Even like people that are fans of it, like us, it's like you're putting out too much shit. Just scale back a little bit. Make us want it. Don't just give it to us. Make us want it. You know what I mean? So because it's gotten to the point where it's just like, oh, it's March. Oh, what Marvel thing is coming out this month? It's like the next movie isn't coming out till June. Rawr. You know what I mean? But go ahead. What do you think about these comments?
No, I think that's a damn good idea. Like less is more. Less is more, man. So argue maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4, but you gotta give these shows some room to breathe. You can't rush them. My problem with the Marvel shows more than anything is that they try to pack an origin story, then they try to pack the villain's origin story, and then they rush through the motherfucker in 5 or 6 episodes. That's not enough time to make anything fucking work. You gotta let things breathe. You gotta give it the room to breathe. That's why I'm glad that they're going back and they're reshooting and repolishing Daredevil Born Again, because a lot of people have been waiting for that revival for a while, and we're not just gonna take some shit, you know? You gotta really give it the time and attention it needs, especially if Daredevil's not getting any movies. You have to take your time and thoroughly write these characters, write for these characters, write good stories for these characters, and establish these characters. Otherwise, why should we give a fuck if it's rushed through? If it's a half-ass rush job, nobody should care. Nobody should care. So I'm glad that they realize less is more, and hopefully it works out for them. Daredevil Born Again is supposed to be like at least 10 to 12 episodes, right?
I think maybe a little more than that, probably like 14, because I think it's supposed to be split into twos, from what I heard. Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll be different now, but yeah. Yeah, it's just with these characters, especially Daredevil, like really take your time, because from what I heard, like originally it was supposed to be different, and then Kevin Feige, just looked in and went, "This is not good. Like we need to make this perfect because it's Daredevil and people love the Netflix show, so it needs to be perfect." And they actually, I don't know if we talked about this before, they changed the strategy of how they do TV shows, because a lot of things that were wrong with their TV shows is that they were trying to do it like they do movies, which that's not how you do TV shows. You need to have a showrunner, and you need to essentially have your own Bible of how you do your TV show. When you this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen. So good they're fixing Daredevil, because Daredevil needs to be not just so much similar to Netflix, but and if you're going to add your own MCU spin on it, fine, but just don't dilute it. You know what I mean? So, and then same thing with Captain America 4. Originally, test screen audiences weren't digging it, and Kevin Feige was just looking at the script and seeing how the movie was being made. He's like, no, this sucks. Change it. Bring in better writers. Same thing with Blade.
Just a better director.
Yeah.
I would have paid whatever the Russo brothers wanted to keep that going, because the Russo brothers really directed damn good Captain America movies, man. They really did. And they directed the Avengers movie too. They did really good work, man. They just know how to get the best out of what they're working with. And you hire some guy, some crackpot from Nigeria who doesn't have a good movie to his name to direct Captain America 4? You're setting my man Anthony Mackie up for failure, man. Him and what's the Spanish guy's name? That's his co-star. He's setting those guys up for failure, man. Why are you doing that to these guys? I don't get it. I don't get it. There's no Bucky to bail him out in this movie. You got Harrison Ford in it and shit like that. That's cool, but you're setting Anthony Mackie and Danny Ramirez up for failure by having them with this director Julius Ona. Oh.
Or how Arjo would put it. Oh hell nah.
Yeah, oh hell nah, man. I can't. Like, come on. They killing me here, man. Come on. Did you see the new Falcon's outfit, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, that looks bushly, don't it?
I don't know. We were just talking about the Superman suit. Like, to me, it's just like, I won't shit on anything until I actually see the movie.
Just that still shot I saw, it does not look good.
Like the suit in fucking at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier was much better. I'll admit that.
Well, I like that.
Like this suit, I'm
talking about Joaquin Torres' Falcon costume.
Oh, him. Again, I won't shit on anything to actually see the movie. It's weird because they're actually selling toys at McDonald's, and the movie doesn't come out till next year.
Yeah, I could have sworn I saw a couple of boxes for. I saw earlier on a tick because they put out the. Fuck, what's the movie Chris Pratt was in? I'm drawing a blank. Garfield. They put out a line for Garfield, so they have a big display up at the store now for Garfield. Now they have a couple of tabs on, like they had a list of certain displays that they'll be putting up in the future. One was for Captain America, but I thought it was odd too. But last summer, they started selling X-Men 97 toys already. So with Marvel, it's not unheard of for them to put toys ahead of time. And it turned out they weren't even supposed to have put those toys out that quickly.
Right.
But they did anyways. Those toys were supposed to have got put out around Christmas time last year. But they put them up last summer. So sometimes they jump the gun sometimes on some of those displays and stuff like that. But yeah, that don't surprise me none. Just seeing it from, another standpoint, that don't surprise me that they're probably trying to get them out there. Trying to get a feel on how everybody feels about the costumes and shit, I guess. Because, that's why they keep on switching these costumes up for a lot of these characters, is because they want to sell these toys. And more power to them, but I don't know, dog. I'm just kind of, I'm not digging what I'm seeing so far as this costume, man. Especially not for you want us to care about this character. This dude, he's the new Falcon, and you giving him a boo-boo costume. Oh no, man. Oh man, man, I'm sorry, Drew. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry to be negative, but about this film, because it feels like every time we talk about it, I've been negative about it. But I'm just looking at this director's track record, and it's not good. And the test screening, I'm glad you brought that up, because the test screening was not great. And they cut Seth Rollins' character out. I don't know if you heard about that, but they cut his character completely out of the movie.
Right, allegedly.
So, yeah, allegedly, supposedly, reportedly. Have you want to dress it up? But yeah, like they. Oh no, man! Just I'm not looking forward to this, and if it's gonna be garbage, I'd rather not see it. Just kill me. Because like I said, I want Anthony Mackie to do well. I want Danny Ramirez to do well too. Those are two guys that you can have something nice with these guys playing Captain America and Falcon moving forward. And if you want to throw Bucky back in the mix, that's fine. That's a great three-man punch right there. But if it's some dumbass director who doesn't have a good movie to his name, if he's gonna, oh my god, that looks terrible, Drew. I'm looking at the costume now; it's awful. It looks like the Vulture's costume from the Spider-Man movie, just with brown. It's more brown than anything, and that helmet looks bad, man. It looks awful. Like they didn't even try. Ugh.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, I probably don't feel as strong as you do I don't. I'm not feeling it. Like the more and more I'm seeing like images of it, and it's just like, yeah, we got Harrison Ford. That's cool, and I like Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not feeling his Captain America all that well, for but it's just I don't know. I'm gonna see it, and if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. But I'll be honest, it's one of those movies where I'm just like I have a feeling I'm not gonna overly love it, and if I do, that'll be awesome.
Right. I would like for this guy, this crackpot, to prove me wrong, but I'm just seeing some signs here that I'm not liking it. Like I said, like I like the characters. I like Falcon. I like Anthony Mackie in his role. You know, him as Captain America overall, not overly jazzed about that, but fine to give him the ball to run with it. And I like Anthony Mackie. I've seen him do straight to DVD movies to where he is now, so I'm proud of the brother for getting his. And Danny Ramirez, I'm happy that he got the role of Falcon, and I want to see these guys do well, but it's just like, oh my god, some of the stuff I'm seeing and some of the stuff I'm hearing, attached screenings and stuff like that, not good, man. And I just don't know. I really don't know, but I just don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sad.
I'm going to be
sad.
cautiously optimistic is the best way to describe.
But why couldn't they just leave his costume alone from Falcon and Winter Soldier? How's this costume in Falcon and Winter Soldier look better than the one he has in this fucking movie?
I don't know. That's weird. It's like why not just bring it back?
Exactly. Why not just bring it back? Why you got the
that was cool.
Bush League?
That costume was cool, and it's just like you bring it back here, and you're like,
yeah, that costume was fucking awesome, man. That looked when he first landed, and he had to. That looked great.
And it's just like no. And Bucky apparently is not going to be in the movie that long because he's going to be in the Thunderbolts movie, which I'm intrigued by. But again, it's one of those movies where I'm like I'm cautiously optimistic.
I'll tell you what, I'm more excited for that than I am for this.
Yeah.
And that's saying a whole lot. Like, given what I just said, I want to see these guys do well, but I'm actually looking more forward to that than this. And those were a bunch of minor league characters, like John Walker and fucking we love our girl,
Florence,
Yelena Belova.
I love him. I love her.
Kate Bishop. Like, yeah. So,
you're funny, Kate Bishop.
Oh, man.
Thickums.
Nah,
that's what I call her, Thickums.
No, that's what we call scrum diddly-umptious. That's what my God. Yeah, she's got it going on.
I love Betty loves her too. Not the way I do, but she does love Florence Pugh. She's like, I think she's good. She's always good in everything she does, and
yeah,
she's a great actress.
She even made Sriracha likable in that movie. That's hard to do, especially given what Sriracha is today.
I don't know. I put Sriracha on my ramen.
I do not like Sriracha at all. I think Sriracha sucks. She dragged her brother. She dragged her brother to AEW. Yeah. Like, nice. Use your political stroke to get your talentless brother, a job.
The less said about. Well, I was talking about Sriracha, the stuff you put on your food, not that Sriracha.
Not the Sriracha that was dripping down the lip in those tapes.
And and if I'm being honest, those tapes weren't even that good.
They were not good. I mean, look, not everybody can be a professional from home, all right?
It's like Xavier Woods, just yeah.
Apparently, according to some women I know, Xavier Woods didn't have the goods, so
I don't know. It would have been better if never, I shouldn't say it.
It would better if Lexington Steele was in there. He would have showed her a good time.
I was gonna say it would have been better if Big E showed up.
Oh
yeah!
Don't you dare keep that out!
Keep your hands for your world famous.
Oh my God! Clap your hands for your pussy popping champion of the world, Big Hey, Langston. Yeah.
Clap your hands in them cheeks. Dun, 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 dun.
3 ain't enough. She needs 5. 5 dicks. Oh. What? Damn. It's like that, Biggie. Yeah.
Oh, I love Biggie.
Lil Jon just sticks his head in the window. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not talking about Sriracha. But yeah, that's all the news. That is literally everything.
That's all the news
we had on docket. We covered Marvel. We covered DC. Doing some wrestling references like we always do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's the show. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, this show is now to the public. It is no longer behind a paywall. It is now to the public. And you'll be seeing more of us whenever there's news to discuss Marvel or DC related. We will be here to cover it because that is our due diligence. Because this is our type of shit that we like to talk about. But
shit we like here, there, folks.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I want to thank RJ for this show, for inspiring this show. Couldn't ask for a better co-host. No, I don't even want to say co-host. We run the show. We're both on the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like saying co-host. Co-host sounds kind of demeaning to me. I don't know why. But like,
yeah, the sidekickish.
Yeah, we both run this shit. We both run this ship.
We both throw ideas out there and see what happens, and like we see what sticks, and no, I mean that's all you could ask for when you're doing a show together,
Exactly.
So,
but from me, from RJ to all you guys, we want to thank you, and like you said, like I mentioned earlier, you'll be hearing more from us in the public. This is a public show. But till next time, peace out and be safe, and look for us to talk about some more nerdy shit. So, laters.
Peace out. Catch you guys later.